like to call this meeting to order of the Town of Pelletier Board of Commissioners. It's 6:30 Monday, May the 5th, 2025. Roll call.
Walter Benson.
Yeah.
Dan Taylor.
Here.
Dale Sowers.
Here.
Sonny Mason.
Here.
David Bragg.
Here.
Tim Quinn.
Here.
Okay, let's all stand for the pledge and invocation, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alice.
Heavenly Father, as we come to you, we thank you for the beautiful day that you've given. And we ask that you be with each and every one as this meeting progresses. And we ask that things that will be beneficial for the staff and pleasing in your sight be taken care of. Bless each and every one that is present. All this we ask in your precious, loving name. Amen.
Okay, everybody has the agenda in front of them. If there's no changes, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Also, the approval of the minutes of the April 7th, 2025 meeting. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to look that over. If there's no changes, do I hear a motion to approve as written?
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next is the department reports. Code Enforcement Officer Lieutenant Chris Jensen.
Good evening, guys. Last month I received 3 complaints from, actually I got them directly at the meeting. The one complaint I received was for Pedersen Park Circle, which is outside of your town at the ETJ Pelletier, referencing a junkyard there to the, going towards the water by the bridge. If you look, it's not hard to miss. And I'm working on that so far, and that's a county thing, that's not a town thing. So I have to approach it with a county tact as opposed to Pelletier ordinance. The next complaint was 187 Bucks Corner Road. Mr. Wright's in there. He's developing his land into a little camper community type thing. And he had 3 sheds up along the road there in Bucks Corner. His intention is to move those sheds out within the next 30 days. He's using them to store some equipment for right now. He knows it looks horrible and he wants to get them out of there as soon as possible. So he'll be working with the town to get some compliance on that. Along with a couple other things I noticed while I was on the property. We talked about it at great length. So he's working it out and he'll get it done. The last complaint was 219 Pelletier Loop Road. That one there, I'm hard pressed to find a code violation there, but I'll keep looking into that one. But I don't think I can do anything with that. The other things are the long list of reports and updates as we spoke about in the last meeting. I don't feel like going over them, so I'm not going to. I wrote in red highlights. They are the list of compliance properties are the ones that I prepared to use on the people I bring in to mitigate those problems. And I believe I have 3 listed. And I, for some reason, dropped out the Deaton Road one. That's still on the list. So there's gonna be a total of 4. And I put an ad in the paper. Miss B and I worked on that ad, and it's going in the paper. Did it go Sunday?
No, we missed Sunday.
So it'll
It's
be Wednesday,
next Sunday.
Wednesday and Sunday. And I'll make a list up. I have the list made. I'll have it printed here tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Of things that the person will need to complete the job. But basically, muscular handyman with a couple chainsaws and things like this. Not too much detail. That's about as far as that goes. Moving on to the police sheriff report. Y'all had 34 calls for service in town, 22 calls for service in the ETJ. Basically having last month's totals, which was kind of odd since the weather's picking up, but I don't know. I guess people aren't calling us that much, which is probably a good thing. Maybe things are okay there on that front. But I have included, as usual, all the calls that came into our county dispatch for the town of Pelletier and Swansboro, which is half of that's the ETJ. And I did get some doggy complaints along the way. That's never ending. Not as many as last month, but a few. So that's still a ever-present type situation. And cat complaints as well, ever-present situation. When I go around driving the neighborhood stalking folks. Any questions of me? I figured I'd keep it short and sweet this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Anybody have any questions for Chris? All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
thank you.
Okay, next is Western Carter Fire and EMS report. Chief Pena.
All right, good evening. So for April, we ended with 172 calls for service. It's a 5% increase from April of '24. Much like the sheriff's department, our call volume, it wasn't quite as extensive as it was in March, which surprised me. MVCs were up, and we wound up having 3 water rescues already. Pelletier wound up with 13 calls. They had 6 EMS, 2 MVCs, and 5 classified as others. As it still is, we've had a little bit of rain. We're still getting quite a few calls for wildland and brush fires. We spent 2 days in Oslo County at that big one there. So it's, just make sure people pay attention to when they're burning. Yes, ma'am. We did go before the Fire and EMS Commission for review of our budget to recommend to the county for passing the tax rate. And they recommended that we went as proposed, so we will be putting on the personnel to run that fire ambulance full-time in July.
And basically, our tax rate has gone down.
So the tax
Fire
rate-
and EMS.
Yeah, fire and EMS, the tax rate did go down.
Yeah. And that way we'll have 3 ambulances and a smaller tax rate.
You know, the growth we have around here is one of the highest in the county. I mean, you can see the growth. If there's a blade of grass around here, they're looking to build something on it. And that helps us with the revenue coming in and not having to raise the tax rates
Oh.
like a bunch of other ones do. So, any questions?
Thank you. All right, next, financial report, Walter.
Is it 294, 104, is that the right one?
294.
Yeah,
Yep.
94, 104, 79. On the general fund, the 35, 990, 68. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Y'all get that?
Anybody got any,
Bring it into cash.
anybody got any questions, or? Okay, we'll move right on. Planning report.
We discussed, the changing of McNeil's property rezoning, and we decided to table it till we could have a little more discussion on what we want to do. And, the checklist was approved, and we will utilize it in a good manner.
Okay. Commissioners report. Walter, you have anything?
Not now, but I probably have something later.
Okay. Dan?
Not at this time.
Son?
No, sir, I'm good.
Mr. Brown?
As y'all see, you got a bunch of papers. Thank you, Dee, for printing this all up for everybody on short notice. And I'm sure, we'll have, Ben Surbick speak to us here in a minute when we get to the, public comment, or if you'd like to do it now. I don't know how you want to proceed with it, but I sent y'all that email that was sent to me, a week or so ago about Pelletier Shores.
Yep.
And I come to learn that, we did adopt the first road in there, but not the backside of it. He's also sent me some pictures. This is one morning right after it had rained. I had originally thought that a lot of it was just, shoulder work and whatnot. I'm not a road construction guy, so he's also submitted us a little bit of information from proposals from Lonzo Grading and Paving, which is a lot more substantial than what I had thought, but mill deteriorated asphalt and whatnot, to bring that neighborhood up to par. So, as you all know, that if you got standing water on a road, it causes all kinds of problems for the road, not just the safety of people walking and driving and biking and everything else. It's makes the road deteriorate a whole lot faster. So it's something we need to address, look at, taking it into consideration.
This, you done, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
This here, the 23,627.50, is that for the whole area or just, the Pelletier Drive and the first
Is it all right
cul-de-sac?
if we direct our questions to Ben?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
So that's a two-phase community. There's the first phase of that community, which is Bay Mead Court and Pelletier Shores. That is owned by the town. Right now, High Tide, Starkey Creek, and South Point Court are still under the developer right now. So that encompasses the majority, the entirety, I should say, of the whole entire neighborhood to be fixed and corrected under that price. You know the developer, as I know. Obviously, we've been in communication through our HOA. That is our only line of contact with this developer, and then coming back down. What they tell us is, hey, as construction goes on, this will be fixed. Whether we want to get into the politics of the HOA or not, the residents of Pelletier Shore, by the bylaws and the covenants, should be taking ownership of that HOA right now by Lot 7. That's the written covenant. That HOA has not been turned over to us, therefore Phase 2 has not been turned over to us. It's a general liability issue, it's safety of children, people. We access these roads every single day, whether it's vehicular, pedestrian, traffic, etc. I wanted to take some photos this morning, but when I was on my way to work, it was still dark out. But obviously with last night's rain, it was far more substantial, getting about an inch of rain on that roadway. I have 5 of my finest neighbors sitting in front of us right here, and they come to attest to the fact that obviously this is just one-sided, this is multiple people, and there surely would have been others sitting before you guys this evening, but didn't know how this was gonna go and what was gonna be said. But it is an issue, and from the residents of Pelletier Shores, we would like to bring action to this to get this corrected. And I've gone out of my way, obviously you see me in a green shirt, I'm sure you can take a wild guess what I do. I have some pretty good connections, obviously onto grading and paving, some street signs that we brought up and stuff like that. Speeding is a very large issue, we wanna put some signs up there and just better the community, especially when it's a town-owned road.
Yes.
And see what we can bring to that community to make it a little bit better.
The 23,000, is that, you say for the whole thing?
That is the entirety, yes, sir.
Not just the street going in?
That is correct, and I'm happy to have Austin, who is the estimator there, break that down to show the town of Pelletier what it costs for the town-owned roads. Whereas prior to the town takes over Phase 2, the developer should, rightfully so, correct that to the town of Pelletier's requirements to obtain ownership of that roadway.
And you see why I turned down Phase 2.
I sure do, yeah, no, absolutely, but I would say.
And, you know, so I traveled the roads every Sunday morning. And even when that development was going on, I was traveling them roads. And I told the developer, you know, that I didn't like what I was seeing, and they didn't fix nothing.
Right.
So even at the boat ramp where the cul-de-sac is and the pavement.
Is that the cul-de-sac that's in this picture here full of water?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
one of
we'll
them is
go
just
up
the
there.
pavement's tore up in
I
the
was gonna
middle.
say, that's got a bowl in the middle of the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, yes, and you know, I'm in the industry, you know, I'm a superintendent. work
Yeah, I
with
am too. I know exactly what I'm looking at, yeah.
And I can tell you right now, when I go out there and I look at where that asphalt's buckled and I look at the side of the road, if I look at the details from the plan set that I have, that ABC stone didn't go outside 1 foot of the edge of pavement. There's not 6 inches to 8 inches of
No, sir.
ABC stone underneath that asphalt at
No,
all.
sir.
It's a low density community. We know it's the bare minimum, 1.5 inches of asphalt. But I'll tell you right now, I put that down with some of my subcontractors, and we have heavy trucks and machinery on that, mind you, rubber tire. In the hottest days of summer, a week after, it holds up. It's quality construction. It's people who the town of Pelletier are allowing to develop in their town, and they're getting away with it. And we reap the repercussions, being the residents of that town, or excuse me, of that subdivision. We don't know that until we get in there. I just happen to have a little bit of a better eye because of my background than some other people, but what we feel is we are owed the right thing. And we want to know what the town is.
I made a trip out there myself and looked at the roads thoroughly, like more than one time. I talked to some people out there too when I was out there.
Yes, sir.
And I said, some of them are a mess.
Yes.
And, not,
Well, they were a mess, as the construction was going on.
Well, before all the
They were
houses in the
tearing them up,
back.
Even.
Before all the houses in the
then.
back got built, the cul-de-sac was already tore up.
Yeah.
In the back, that was paved.
Yeah.
And that
So-
was an M&W flatbed with a big tractor on it that did the turn in that road, and I watched him do it
Tore the road up.
and tore road up. And he just kept on going.
it's their own people doing it. too,
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
a little bit ridiculous.
So there's 3/4 of an inch asphalt in that cul-de-sac, basically.
I mean,
Maybe.
you can walk that roadway and you can see where it's buckling on the side of the road. You can go anywhere from 2 inches to 1/4. I mean, you can put your hand down and you can pick it up. And as Mr. Bragg said, not only is it ponding water, but when ponding water sits on asphalt, it's a porous material.
It deteriorates.
I don't care what you say. It's just like concrete. It'll go through eventually. And so it's going to deteriorate. It's going to get to that subgrade. That subgrade's going to get soft. It's going to weaken. It's going to buckle.
Well, that's a good question, because I know the main road going in and the first cul-de-sac, whatever needs to be done there, this board can go ahead and approve and do it. Now, the other part where we haven't adopted the roads, now, how would we handle that?
I don't think it's the expectation of the
One
neighborhood.
second, please.
Yeah, I don't think the town can go in and if they haven't adopted the roads, just unilaterally decide to repair those roads. For the town-owned roads, I'd also like to point out, if I don't know if y'all put this out to bid yet or not, but probably need to put it out to bid to make sure that the public bidding requirements are met.
How long can you give those guys after the subdivision is done to repair what needs to be repaired here before we take it over? Is there a deadline? Is there a time limit or what?
I don't know that there's necessarily a deadline. If the town wants to take over the roads, residents can certainly apply for that, but as long as the town doesn't manage those roads or maintain those roads, it's an internal issue to the HOA.
So these people are
To the developer.
in the hurt locker unless the town takes it over and has it fixed, because it don't sound like MW is gonna fix the roads, correct?
Unless it's something-
Essentially, it's, like I said, it's a private issue between the residents and the developer, or the HOA and the developer.
Well, I got-
It's a litigation between the residents of both nations.
God, that's a little crap right here.
Right?
That's right. It's a private civil issue.
Yeah.
All right, and I got the maps that was presented to the town in my truck. I've been trying to get to your house, and due to work, I hadn't been able to.
Yeah, and we're so far apart.
Yeah, I mean, he lives across the street from me. But anyhow, but I'd like to go over them with you, because even on that back side, yeah, I mean, it's clearly shows on the map, ditches,
Right?
Yeah,
you know.
you've got a ditch every subdivision.
So, I'm thinking of going back to the surveyor and asking him what happened.
Right.
Have you got the stormwater runoff plan with that?
I think so.
Well, that should have all the ditches and the ponds and everything in
It's
it.
got it's got everything on it.
So did that,
So anyhow,
who did the stormwater plan?
They probably did,
Tidewater.
Okay.
but they were supposed to do it, and evidently they didn't do it with all this water standing on it.
So anyhow, like I say, we can handle, the first, Pelletier Shores Road, And that first cul-de-sac, I know is town's responsibility there. And, you know, we would have to put it out to bid before we could do anything. But, we can certainly get to work on that. So just, and then we can, David, we can get together and let me show you the plans I have. And then I'll take it to the surveyor
Yeah,
and see if you're seeing what I see.
right.
Okay.
And sounds good. They also requested to see the streetscapes about the same streets,
Street signs?
speed limit signs.
Yeah.
We do have one more, I think 15, and the pole with multiple holes in it.
And what now?
Yeah.
And I'd also like to preface the fact that that proposal that's provided to you guys also accounts for their labor to come in and install that, and I'd be very happy to assist.
We can purchase the signs, and I normally, yeah,
Yeah, we get
I'll bring the photo there.
we'll take care of that.
So do we need to make a motion to put this out on bids?
Do we need a motion to put that on bids? Well, we need to kind of break it down some too.
Yeah, determine what exactly the town is doing here to make sure it's clear in the bid.
Yeah, scope of work.
Yeah.
We gotta get a scope of work together before we can really
Okay.
do that, so, all right.
So yeah, we're not really making a motion or tabling anything,
We just gotta
But
get
we're
our
gonna move-
information
We're
together.
gonna
right?
get the info together.
so we can make action next month.
Yeah, even if we take actions next month, if we get the scope of work, we could go ahead and still put it in the paper.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Cause the rainy season's coming.
Gotcha.
Well, we need a little bit.
Yeah, we do, but don't look like they need much more.
No. You done?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Quinn? You have anything?
No, I did have one question about this. So would this be to strip what is there and do the subcompacting of the
It's more of
material
a,
below, or is it just patching?
Yes, sir.
It shows a
Your
patch.
first statement. So this would be done by millhead on the skid steer. You'd be taking that out, you'd be replacing the compromised ABC stone below, making sure your chief compaction 96%. Then you'd be laying your 1.5 inch asphalt on top of it, with probably a 9.5 mix as the top.
My concern is still concerned with the citizens, the people that live in that, about the streets that's there, that we're not responsible for now. But we want to become responsible for them, but we don't want to become responsible for them in the shape they're in now. So, and I think what our attorney said, but it's not for him to say, but to get those streets to standards, it seems like you're gonna, it's people in the community. You have HMO, don't you?
We have our, I'm sorry, what? Our own HOA?
Yeah.
We do, but that's the problem, so.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, because the developer didn't do it right to begin with, and the HOA hasn't really accepted it, because they don't know what they're doing, and I'm not gonna get into a pissing contest, but before the city of Pelletier takes and spends your money to take and fix this mess, okay, the developer needs to put it down correctly to begin with. And that
Agreed.
also includes the stormwater management and erosion that is causing a lot of this problem also. That needs to be taken care of and addressed also.
That sounds like
Okay.
y'all got a civil matter between you people in there and that developer. And all of it is.
That's
All right,
correct. So
all right.
the town of Pelletier is allowing this developer to develop in their town to these standards. And that's a problem.
But he's not doing it to the standards he was put on that stormwater runoff plan.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean.
Now, if he's not doing it to the stormwater runoff plan or erosion control, then that's for DEQ and Wilmington to take care of.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And we really have no inspector that can go out and check the construction of that road as asphalt's being put down as quick as it happens, as you know. How would we,
I understand that.
you know,
I want the best for the town of Pelletier, I want the best for my community. Obviously, you can see with the extenuating research that I've done so far to provide you guys
Appreciate it.
information today. And moving forward with further more developments here, whether it's this person or the next person, We want to catch these things so you don't have residents who sit before you who are unhappy or developers developing in this town who are not doing things per the standards, per the code, per the specs, etc., and alleviate these types of meetings from occurring.
But we're working on that right now.
Yes, sir.
We're with our land use plans and everything else. So anyhow, all right, everything good. We're gonna move on with the meeting. New business, the budget, for 2025, 2026. Y'all have the budget. Our budget, the grand total for the budget will be for the upcoming year, $204,520. This will keep the tax rate at 5.5 cents. If you look down through it, you'll see the clerk and code enforcement officer, that is $42,000. That will allow a 5% raise and $1,000 each for their Christmas bonuses. We have the money, same money for the auditors and CPA, which is $15,000. Town planners will be, is the same as of right now, $20,000. That hadn't changed. Town hall maintenance, you'll see there's extra money there. There's $6,500. $2,100 will be to do the maintenance that needs to be done as far as the new door into the clerk's office, the emergency light, put new chairs together, and the door hardware for this storage room out back. We do have money here for the church at 252 Pelletier Loop Road for the electric bill and the water bill, which is $1,500. One thing you don't see on this as of right now is the school resource officer. We received this after had this together. You know, the county has taken that over, and they're saying our portion of that is $2,811. Do you commissioners want to add that to that budget?
$2,800.
$2,811.
We have to, don't
We would add one right under workman's comp, workers' comp, just SRO 2811.
Did that make our budget out about it?
Not necessarily. You take that 2811, will remove it from the miscellaneous and move it down.
Okay, I see.
Okay, because the $21,120 in miscellaneous is just to balance the budget. Okay,
So we're gonna take 2811 off of the miscellaneous and put it down here, so that'll make miscellaneous 18 something, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah. So that'll be the only change. That way the numbers will stay the same.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Val, we know that taxes have gone up with the recent Val. So anyhow, we estimated $96,000 coming in. That's 30% higher than what we had last year. Anyhow, beer and wine's 3,800. The billboard out here is 1,200. Motor vehicles 8,000. Building permits, or not building permits, but zoning permits 2,000. Sales and use tax 30,000. Utility franchise tax 28. So anyhow, The total is $169,020. Then for the PAL bill, as far as street maintenance and the survey, 35,500, which is total budget will be $204,520. Anybody have any questions?
Good.
Do I hear a motion to send this to public hearing?
Make a motion, we send it to public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to send this to public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, well, this will be, next month's meeting will be a public hearing on the budget. Okay, public comments. Limited to 3 minutes. Anybody have something to say?
We should have started an hour earlier.
Well, we kind of when it's a discussion like what we were just having, we kind of let that slide.
I know, I was out of
mind
place, but
playing.
I was starting to,
Yeah, I can see your face getting red.
You may have answered some of my comments. 8 or 9 months ago, before I took my winter sabbatical, you guys agreed to put a Dutch door here for B. And it's still back in the back room. I know you put it out for bid, and we're not licensed contractors, so I, as a taxpayer, am going to personally ask RKS Incorporated to put in a bid next month, so you commissioners can vote it up or down. Now, if you want to, go looking for a licensed contractor, but let's get it done, because it's wasting tax dollars sitting back there in that back room.
Hey, 1 second. Any more public comment?
Let me just stand up and do something here real quick.
State your name, please, sir.
Steve Brown. I'm in Pelletier Shores, here on Bay Meat Court. I was the 4th or 5th home built over there, so I watched the rest of the homes being built and the roads being laid out. I watched that beautiful hill of forest being mowed down and destroyed. I have reached out to stormwater management down in Wilmington, and I have heard crickets as far as them coming up here. And I've asked them to come up and look at the erosion that's in all of our gutters coming down from the homes. We have people moving out of the community because they can't mow their lawns anymore. They're too old to do it, but they can't do it because the sides of the hills are just like this. And when they walk on them, they're just falling down. This is the way the developer put this stuff in. I'm not sure who approved it, but I'm sure it wasn't done correctly. Okay? My driveway has got a 6-foot hole underneath it because they put my concrete on beach sand. It's all eroded out from underneath it. Water sits in the ditch in front of my house. It sits there for 4 or 5 days when everything else is dried away. Pictures that Ben showed you as far as the ponding on the 2 sides of the road, it doesn't have to be more than a 1/4 of an inch. But both sides is a swamp. Nothing is solid. Make the left and go down Starkey Creek down toward the end to the cul-de-sac. On the right-hand side, the road this much is gone because there's no footing. It wasn't laid in correctly. I'm not a construction guy, but I got common sense. It wasn't done right.
Whoever the engineer was on that project is the one that inspects that project. So there you go, everybody's in the same hat there. That's the problem.
Well, who paid him?
Not us.
No, you didn't pay him, but somebody paid him.
You homeowners paid them.
Developer.
The developer
We
made the
didn't pay him to
engineer.
do a shitty job.
I agree.
Whoa, watch the language.
Yes, sir.
I agree
I'm
with
just
you.
saying.
But that's, the engineer's the one that inspects those subdivisions. And if they've got the engineer on their staff, there's your sign right there.
Who is
Tidewater.
Tidewater?
Yes.
I've already talked to Tidewater 3 times. They've refused to talk to me.
Josh
They will
McDaniel.
look at me. I've been standing in their office with pictures in my hand, their own inspections.
And that might be why, because if they signed off on it, they made a mistake.
They made a
Yeah.
mistake, and then they're
Yeah.
liable, I guess.
I've got.
I think this is like what Walter said, though. This is a civil thing.
But you can't fight Morton.
I understand that.
You
Yeah.
can't fight Morton.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay. All right, old business, not this time, no other business. Commissioner's comment. Commissioner Quinn. Commissioner Bragg.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
It's seizing your. Commissioner Mason.
All I can say is I feel y'all's pain, because I've been down that road before with some stuff, but the corporate America and the big money is hard to fight. And I know where y'all are at. But there's nothing this board can do other than what he said and make sure whoever does it again, but we don't have an inspection department. That's the problem. Am I right?
You're right. All right.
Doesn't the county
Anything,
inspect?
oh,
Nothing at this point.
you're done, sir. All right.
I was answering his question.
No.
Are we still in public hearing? We never got out of,
Nothing at this point.
we never came out of public hearing, did we?
Huh?
We never came out of public hearing, did we?
We didn't have public hearing.
Oh, we did, that's right.
You
I'm a
had
month
any-
ahead.
You had nothing?
Yeah, I do. I want to ask you about, since you got it in the, we've got it in the proposed budget.
Yeah.
Can we go ahead and can I, would I be in order of making a motion, and like Sue, that we go ahead and authorize you, since you are a licensed contractor, and, to fix it, to spend this $2,100, whatever we got here, to fix those Dutch doors and the chairs and all that stuff? Would that be appropriate, or do we wait till the budget's approved?
I don't mind doing it, just as long as you know, it just got, it just got messed up on the church.
I understand exactly how you feel.
And I'm not going to get, and I'm not going to be treated like that again, that's why.
Don't blame you one bit in the world.
So I don't mind doing it, but, it will cost $2,100 to do it.
And would I be out of line in making that motion now?
You can make the motion.
And, I'm not sure I'll make that motion. I make that we go ahead and get Dale to do the work that we've had here, been supposed to be done for 6 to 8 months, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
And we've had, one bid that wasn't a licensed contractor, we can't get any other licensed contractor to give us the bid, and he is a licensed contractor, just get it done, the stuff that we need, and I'll make that.
I'll second you.
All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You know, right?
Unanimous. Okay, anything else? All right, our next meeting is June 2nd. Do I hear?
I would like to say one other thing.
Go ahead.
I feel sorry for y'all, I really do. And like I said, I've done that, lived in that place. And, we can say it's our fault, or your fault, or his fault, or their fault, but, I don't know what we can do to help you. And like Sonny said, whenever when he did that development, he didn't have an engineer to decide, and the engineer can sign off on it. The same way he signed off on the septic system that's out there.
Right.
And I don't know who, I can remember we had one septic, Ricky Taylor came out and had to do it like $40,000 or some ridiculous figure, because the engineer had already signed off on the other one. So now how they got by with that, I don't know, but it seems like the engineer, to me, the engineer and Morton, whoever did the development, it should be held accountable some way. Now, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we can get it.
And I don't know what to tell you.
But like,
Get a good
just so y'all know, we've helped another community in our town. We're not gonna turn our backs on you. We're gonna help get this fixed. So anyhow, it's just, we gotta go through legal process.
Right.
That's why he's here. So anyhow, we're here to work with you, so.
I'll make a motion with adjourn.
So have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.